He uses traveler's checks too.
All right, welcome to Coach Heupel's Monday press conference. Coach will make an opening statement, and then we will take questions and get a mic.
Hey guys, great having the guys back in the building. Obviously, a lot of excitement from players and staff. Huge week right here. Great opponent in Georgia. Excited to get going this week with these guys. Defensively, Georgia's playing as well as anybody in the country. Personnel's really strong. All three levels of the defense and offensively, playing really efficient football. Quarterbacks making plays and the play action pass guy do a great job having your eyes on your key. And they're extremely physical up front and can run the football. So huge test for us, one that we're really excited about. Great to be back home. It's been a long time since we've gotten a chance to play inside Neyland Stadium. Expect a great environment back home and looking forward to the opportunity to play well and go compete together. So with that, I'll open it up.
Questions? We'll start with Adam and then Patrick.
Most coaches say you should do what you do best, regardless of the opponent. Obviously, on paper, Georgia's a better team than you guys and better at what they do than anybody else. What's the temptation like to get outside of the box to do something different this game versus just doing what you guys have done all year schematically?
We change every week, based on what you see from the other side of the ball, personnel matchups, put your kids in the best position, you prepare in a great way, have a great week of practice and finish it the right way, and then go let it go play on Saturday. You play every game 10 times, it unfolds differently every single time. So prepare in a great way and then react to how it's different. And, I thought last week there's some things in our game plan that were different, and our kids adjusted extremely well in all three phases of the game. There's lots of things that we can do better from last week too, but Georgia's a great opponent. Our guys are going to be ready to go compete for 60 minutes. I have no question about that with this group. I love competing with this team.
Josh, this was announced late last week, but obviously there's a lot to talk about on Saturday night, but just the investigation being over with and no bowl ban, just kind of, I know that's just maybe the next step in the process, but what's maybe your reaction to that step being taken? Yeah,
for sure. For our staff and players, I've said it from the time that I've gotten here, really believe that this was just going to be a speed bump for our program. And the kids that are here and the kids that we recruit are going to have a chance to go continue to compete for championships. And fully believe that. I think it's really unique that our university found out about what was going on, reported it, and has been transparent from the very beginning. And, for our kids, I think it's really important that we're able to move forward.
Rob and Wes.
Coach, so much was made starting out about the time of possession discrepancy. Do you care about that at all? I mean, when you scored 45 points in 46 plays, do you even think about it?
Say that last.
You scored 45 points in 46 plays. When you do that, do you care about time of possession at all in regards to the rest of your defense?
I think you care about time of possession in the situation where it matters. When it's time to drain the clock, then it's important that you're able to do that and play situational football end of halves, end of ball games. The score predicated that you continue to play the way that you're able to play. The other night, it's just a really unique way in which the game unfolded, right? I don't know, there's 2 touchdowns in 4 plays maybe. We got a huge play down the sideline with Jalen on play 6, I think, and end up fumbling the ball. Just the way the game unfolded for us offensively was really unique with all the explosive plays that quickly in the football game. And then vice versa, defensively, they were pounding the football and getting, small chunks, 3s and 4s and 5s and converting on third down where, the time of possession just became what it was in the first half in particular.
Josh, has anything about Hendon Hooker, either as a player or a person, sort of surprised you? I know that, he's been here, I guess, as long as since you've been here on day one, but anything that's sort of surprised you about him?
No, I just think what's striking about him is his maturity on and off the field and just the way that he handles himself as a person, and then that factors into how he prepares and handles, positives and negatives during the course of a given day, a practice, a game. I think the thing that's striking to me, and you don't know it until you're with them in those environments, is just the competitive nature of him. And I think you guys can see that in the way that he plays.
Austin and Vance.
much like as a coach, you can use playing freshmen early as an indicator for when you're recruiting other kids. Do you feel like you guys will be more attractive with portal kids just because you're able to show them, hey, Brandon Turnage was SEC Defensive Player of the Week. Javonte Payton's caught 6 touchdowns in the last 7 games. Obviously, Hendon speaks for itself, but there are several guys that came from the portal that weren't here, when you got here that are a big part of why you guys are having success.
Yeah, Kamal Haddon too, the way that he's played. The guys that have come here to restart their careers in some ways have found a bunch of playing time and a bunch of success. I think it speaks to the culture that we're building with the guys that have been here the entire time, foundation of who we are and what we are inside of the locker room, the accountability and demand from each other that they're going to do things the right way. But then I think it speaks to, what we're doing schematically and our coaching staff, being able to get the best out of their players and put them in a position of success.
Josh, with the pace you guys go on offense, how does the administrative work with communication for potential replays, especially if it's something that maybe doesn't go your way offensively, with all things considering you want to keep that tempo as well?
Yeah, if you feel like there's something that is important and has a chance to be replayed, you typically slow down in those situations to give those things an opportunity to happen. That's guys on the field that see something. That's guys up in the press box that see something too.
Coach, after Alontae Taylor's touchdown, you had a celebration with him right by the end zone. How valuable is just a veteran player like that, especially for a rivalry game?
Yeah, Alontae got up quicker than I did and out-jumped me on that one. So I've gotten him a few times on the practice field. I think it's important that you celebrate great moments with them. You want your kids to play with great energy and passion. As a coaching staff, then you better have that too and enjoy those moments. Huge play by him, changes the way the game unfolds the rest of the way. Great decision and the game within the game, making it look like a soft corner, then rolling late, seeing the hand separate from the quarterback. Huge play by him and those are great moments.
Coach, you had 2 kickoff returns on Saturday night for over 30 yards. What's protocol for Velus back there? Does he have the green light, or is that something that's determined by you guys on the sideline on whether or not you're going to fair catch that? Kind of what's his options back there?
Combination of both. The depth of the kick is going to matter too, right? In the decision of when you're bringing it out. Coach Eckler and our special teams, our return unit did a great job of adjusting. It's a guy that I think 91% of his kickoffs have been touchbacks, and we're able to create a big play with Velus, get the ball out to the 50 with the penalty, and then Jimmy in our front line do a great job of adjusting to a sky kick, and he brings it out to the 50. Those were huge momentum and field position plays in the game. Talked about that with the guys today.
Last thing too, on the running back situation, do you feel pretty optimistic where you are with Jabari and Tyon? Because I know they didn't finish the game Saturday.
Yeah, I think the guys that got nicked up in the game, Jacob Warren too. We'll find out more as we go through the week, but I feel like those guys will be in a position to help us on Saturday. But we'll find out more as the week goes on.
Josh, when you went back and watched the film and talked with Coach Banks, just did you all feel like guys were in position defensively to make plays and they just missed tackles, or was it a combination of missed tackles and not being in the right place?
Yeah, majority of it was missed tackles. Some of it's those guys, pushing and falling forward, hitting them at 2 and it being a 5-6 yard gain. Their offensive line, their tight ends, extremely physical. Their backs ran with great pad level too. We got to do a better job this week.
Eric didn't ask.
Georgia in the front 7, they like to stand up, sometimes go from a 2-point stance, move around, try to confuse the offensive line outside of just being really good to begin with. What have you seen from that unit on tape, and what's the challenge for your big guys up front?
Starts with the personnel. They're big, long, physical, athletic. They play with speed. They do a great job of retracing on perimeter screens. You see that show up. When you think you got space, it closes down pretty quick. I don't care if that's in the core or out on the perimeter. They're able to rotate a lot of guys too. The depth of their football team is a big part of their success, being able to play guys, essentially almost in 50% of the ball game and rotate through. For us, we got to do a great job of getting hat on hat. We got to be physical, That's on the perimeter. That's in the core. We got to do a great job of communication too in their third down package.
How much of Georgia's defensive success is based on what they do on first down, getting teams into a bad down and distance?
That's a huge part of any defense, right? Where you're playing on your terms in third down in particular, and you know what's coming. You got a chance to pin your ears back and get after the quarterback. They've done a great job of, creating havoc and flipping the way the game's played. You look at the Florida game, it's 3-0 with 2 minutes to go in the second quarter, and it's a 21-point burst of points by them in the last 2 minutes.
Go to Madison in the back.
Coach Hendon Hooker was named the SEC Offensive Player of the Week. Kate Mays was named Offensive Lineman of the Week. When you look at what Mays was able to do, he played every single snap, didn't allow any pressure on Hendon Hooker. How much of Hooker's success would you contribute to Mays in the offense?
Yeah, if a quarterback's playing well, there's 10 other guys around him doing their job at a really high level. It starts with the front five. Cade has continued to get better, in my opinion, as the season has gone along. I know he missed a couple of weeks in the middle part of it, but he continues to get better and better every single week. Getting him back last week was a big part of our success. Congratulations to him on the individual recognition, well deserved. And at the same time, Hendon, I think being decisive, understanding your reads, getting the ball out on time, you get a chance to help cover things up too when it's not right, and some of his scrambles, and so those two things play off of each other.
Coach, the defense has had to battle, obviously, numerous quarterbacks that like to get out and run the ball whenever a play breaks down. Is it fair to say that this defense is confident going into a game this week where the quarterback not necessarily known for scrambling ability, and would they be a little relieved in knowing that fact?
I've seen on the crossover tape that I've seen, Stetson can get out and make plays with his feet too. End of the day, we got to do a great job pressing the pocket. Got to have lane integrity. Our defense will be confident going into this football game.
Coach, you talked about Heupel and his competitiveness, but
About who?
I'm sorry, Hendon Hooker.
I'm competitive too, though.
You are
Yeah.
competitive, definitely. But you spoke about Hendon Hooker's competitiveness. We don't really get to know these players all that well off the field. So, how would you best describe Hendon Hooker as a personality off the field?
I know this when he's in the building because I'm not with him a ton outside of it, right? But in the building, highly competitive. Is a great leader for us. I think his personality probably comes out a little bit more when he's outside of the building and away from football. Super engaging with his teammates and everything that I've been able to see.
Josh, I know that I'm sure this isn't the plan necessarily, but again, on Saturday, Javonte makes a huge play early in the game, and I think he gets maybe a couple more touches throughout the game. Are things still just flowing the other way after that, or how's that happening?
Just the way it unraveled, the way the game ended up being played. That first play, it's a great play by Javonte, making the guy miss in space and taking it the distance. Showed it to the team today. Princeton Fant and Bayless Jones, the perimeter blocking, the strain, not just being a hat on a hat, but straining and creating that space gives Javonte the opportunity to make the safety miss. It creates the space that's needed there. Javonte did a really good job the other night. We'll continue to. He's a guy that's not getting balls, in this third quarter, fourth quarter on purpose. It's just the way the game's unfolded. Some of that's just, coverage and where the ball's, predicated to go off of that.
Georgia offensively, very efficient. They got about 5 guys that carry the ball routinely. And what are the challenges going up against that offense, and specifically potentially seeing 2 quarterbacks?
It starts for them up front, physical tight ends, physical offensive line, really good depth and athleticism and physicality from the running back position. And then they're, tight ends being able to be a big part of the passing game and play action pass. Good perimeter players too, and the quarterback is playing super efficient. You got to defend it all. It's not just one thing. You've got to be able to hammer the run game though, and try to get them off schedule and get off the field on third down.
Coach, you guys got Elijah Simmons back on the defensive line in that game. It looked like he maybe made a little bit of a difference against the run when he was in there. Just how important was that, and how much you guys need him moving forward?
Yeah, great to have him back in a position where he can go play. You know, for him, when he's able to go, he's got the ability to dent things, in particular on first and second down, and change the track for the running back and change the line of scrimmage. You saw that during the course of the ball game when he was in there.
All right, thank you. Players shortly. Of note, the South